Okay. No one's in. Oh, yeah.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll just wait a few minutes and let everyone sign in, and then we will get started.
How's everybody enjoying this winter spring salad thing that we've got going on?
Second winter or third winter.
Yeah, there's a third.
Maybe like
right
first spring? No, second fall
yeah.
spring.
Yeah, we haven't reached first spring yet.
Yeah.
Fall spring.
Okay.
It's always exciting in the bike shop when you forget to lock the door when you close.
All right, I think I'm gonna kick it off here. Well, hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight, and we are excited to talk all things RAGBRAI, and we have two guest speakers for you tonight. Bobby Kennedy from the Des Moines Street Collective and Jess Lozano from Primal. So we're excited about that. All right.
Indiana.
If you weren't able to register when you signed up, please scan the QR code to complete your registration. That way you can answer questions or ask questions in the Q&A. And we'll be able to answer those throughout the whole town hall presentation. We'll have some of our staff working hard to answer your questions, and that way we can keep it moving. And then we also will spend some time at the end to answer your questions that you submitted through registration, and hopefully we'll answer them through the presentation. So, all right. Tonight we have our RAGBRAI team. Most of us are actually in the office together tonight, so it's kind of a fun new one tonight. But we have our RAG Director, Matt Phippen. We have our Event Operations Manager who does campgrounds and charters, Hayden Meister. We have me, Carson Groff, the Expo and Event Operations Manager and the Town Hall Girl. I have Andrea Parrott, our Marketing Director, and the Just Go Bike podcast co-host. Corey Much is not with us tonight. He is on vacation. And then we have Erica Detterman, our Registration and Merchandise Manager. And we have Erin Oliphant. She's actually in Denver, but she's here as our customer service girl. So we are excited to see all of you tonight. One more QR code to scan. If you would like to sign up for our newsletters, we send out monthly newsletters of a bunch of information to get you ready for RAGBRAI. We also will post this afterwards. So if you guys want to scan it later and sign up, this whole town hall will be recorded and posted. So, all right. So we'll kick it off here tonight with Erica. She's going to give us some registration updates and merchandise updates. So, hey, Erica.
Thank you, Carson. Just wanted to give everybody a quick update on the registration. So we are now into this March price tier. So if you're a week-long rider, that would be $275 plus processing fees and taxes for week-long riders. And then our refund schedule is, if you need a refund between now and the end of the month, you would get 75% of the original dollar amount you put down. So go ahead, if you need a refund for whatever reason, you can email us at info@ragbrai.com and we'll get that process for you. We will also have wristbands will be back this year. So keep an eye out for that. We'll have more information available then, but those will be coming out in June. And then just a quick reminder for everybody, if you have registered and you've moved or updated your address, please also email us at info@ragbrai.com. because we will start shipping out wristband packets in early June and want to make sure that you get those in ample time for the ride and we don't have any issues with it coming back to the office and you needing to pick them up at the pickup. And then wanted to do a quick merch update. So we just came out with a new town t-shirt that has our new special edition bug design on that. So that has all 8 overnight towns on the front. Our dates, it matches our special edition jersey, which just arrived at the warehouse this week. So we're getting all of those pre-orders shipped out and you guys should have those by next week at the latest. And then our full option of town items you can see there. My special favorite new item is the stickers this year. If you can see our water tower stickers probably are my favorite design. And then keep an eye out because we will be coming out with a Merch Madness sale at the end of the month. So keep an eye out. The best way to find our sales is if you're part of our newsletter, following us on social media, because you get first access to what those kind of look like. Because we send out our merch email once a week and then our newsletter for the whole month on the beginning of the month. So you'll keep an eye out for that and we'll have that here at the end of the month. And then I'm going to kick things over to Jessica from Primal. Off to you.
Hello, thank you for having me. My name is Jess, I'm with Primal, and I am here to just talk a little bit more about who we are as a company and our partnership with RAGBRAI. We have actually been doing the apparel for RAGBRAI for 18 years now. So that is 18 years of growing friendships, pedaling together, and just really making the event special. Especially for us, we feel really lucky to be able to partner with the best cycling event in the country. So these are just some stats that we have gathered from Primal over our 18 years working together. Some fun, we've eaten a lot of pork chops and a lot of pie and had a lot of sassy lemonades during our partnership here. And we've ridden thousands and thousands of miles and also had the great opportunity to work with thousands of RAGBRAI's teams. Or hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of RAGBRAI teams. Okay, and we do all of the cycling apparel for RAGBRAI. So we try to make it really easy for you to understand what the technology in each of these products is and make sure that you have an easy way to ask questions, try things on. So feel free to come by the Primal tent any day during the ride and we can talk you through what each of the products is, make sure that you find the right fit so that you're able to go to the merch trailer and really just have a seamless experience there and know exactly what you're looking for. We also have a really big RAGBRAI banner that we make every year. So it's fun to sign off on that and have a little photo op with in the Primal tent with your name on the banner. We do work with a ton of teams and it is a really special way to bring your team together and remember your RAGBRAI. So whether you have a drawing on a napkin or full print ready files, we can bring your jersey dreams to life and make all those happen for you. So definitely let us know if it is something you're thinking about and we can help you out with that. Usually you want to order between April and May to get that delivered. But if you do find yourself in a little bit of a time crunch, feel free to reach out because we always do have expedited options and it is a really fun way to go through RAGBRAI dressed the same as everybody. And here are a few of our featured products that we have that have been really popular with RAGBRAI. We have our Prisma jersey, which is a relaxed fit, but a classic cycling jersey. It has the 3 pockets on the back, but whether this is your first time riding or you are an avid cyclist, this is a jersey that is going to give you what you need. So that's something that's safe for everybody. We also have an Atoran shirt, which is a button up, more of a relaxed casual type shirt that we can customize for your team. Super lightweight. We got a new fabric on it this year, which everybody has been absolutely loving. And of course, everybody's favorite feature is that it has pockets. We also have our Aspen jersey for the ladies that are looking for a sleeveless option. We have men's sleeveless options too, but this one is for the women. And it is a relaxed fit. And so it is a super approachable cut of a jersey and has been really popular with the women as well. If you are interested in custom apparel, I would like to introduce you to my friend Cole. He is our team jersey expert at Primal. I left his email address here for you. He has been doing RAGBRAI for a long time. He's a Colorado native and an Iowa regular. I feel like I'm making a dating profile for him right now, but if you mentioned that you saw this goofy picture of him, then he will give you a free jersey with your custom order. But feel free to reach out and he can answer any of your questions and get something set up for you. We also know that training for RAGBRAI, I've been hearing Matt really drill this into everybody, is very important on this very hilly RAGBRAI. So we have all of your training essentials at Primal. It's been pretty windy here, if you haven't noticed. So if anybody needs a wind jacket, some sun sleeves, gloves, arm warmers, any of that, to just make sure that you are ride ready, feel free to go to primalwear.com and you can use the coupon code here for 30% off your order with Primal. And thank you so much for your time today, guys.
Well, thank you, Jess. We're happy to have another presenter here. We also are going to talk about RAGBRAI Gives a little. This year, RAGBRAI Gives has selected Iowa's community bike shops as our Gives recipient, and we couldn't be more excited. Community bike shops play an essential role in Iowa, and we are really grateful for the opportunity to raise awareness. We're also halfway to our goal, which is awesome. That's a really great place to be and a little bit higher than last year. So we're really, really excited. And we want to thank everyone who has donated so far. And if you want to contribute more, you can donate through our website or during registration. We are also excited to welcome our second guest speaker tonight, Bobby Kennedy from the Des Moines Street Collective. So he's here to talk a lot about Des Moines Street Collective. So go ahead, Bobby.
Hey, everybody. How are you doing? Do you all have head colds too? Yeah, you do. My name is Bobby Kennedy. I'm the bike shop director here at the Des Moines Street Collective. We've been around since 2008, basically as a transportation equity organization. We specialize in bikes, but we do all sorts of things. Which, here, can I just do like this?
Yep.
Or like change the slide? Okay. Yeah, there we go. Right now we have our beautiful shop in the East Village. We actually started out on the west side of the river in a basement in a parking garage. So if you've ever been into our space and thought like to yourself, how do they cram that many bikes into this little space? Imagine that many more bikes, but crammed into a smaller basement. Like it would be so dense that like actually light couldn't escape it. Okay, let's see. Here, we'll do it again. Here. Yeah, thank you. That was great. The system works. So yeah, like I said, we've been around since 2008. We've been in our current location since 2014. In 2025, we had a great year. We donated over 500 bikes. 107 of those went to people experiencing homelessness. That is a record for us, like both cases. We've been seeing that go up every year. We also, let's see, I'm trying to read my own slides now. Jeez. There we are. We received over 2,100 bikes from the good people in Des Moines. We are completely donation driven. So all the bikes that we have that we donate, that we refurbish, and that we also sell, all of those come in ones and twos out of people's garages. We also have a massive and awesome volunteer base that has been donating like basically a couple full-time people's worth of hours like every year. Yeah, we just got a great group going. Let's see. Oh, and third, maybe not consecutive, but third in the last 4 years, silver medal for People's Choice. Darn you, Kyles. Anyway, okay, we can do the next slide now. I'll talk more about the community bike shop, but we have lots of programs here. I always like to say that we do the work of like 5 nonprofits in a normal city, but Des Moines is just that much bike crazier than elsewhere. So we also do a bike share, which if you've ever been in Des Moines, you've probably seen our nice green and white bikes parked around at the docks around the city. We have news stations at Confluence Brewery, as well as in Windsor Heights. We have stations at Raccoon River Park and Easter Lake for people who just want to tootle around. And then we have a really thick kind of network of docks for people to rent these bikes out from in downtown Des Moines. So if you're ever visiting Des Moines and you want to hang on to your precious parking spot, you don't have to actually walk. You can use these stations. We also do bike valet, and so we do that every week at the farmers market throughout the year. And we also do it for special events like Ingersoll Live, Yankee Doodle Pops. I believe we've done it at the Clive Greenbelt Festival and also Pride Fest down here in the East Village. So, yeah. Another kind of awesome thing that we just started in 2025 is bike parking. So we are in large part a sustainability organization. We hate to see things go to waste. And so one of the things that we have a lot of is these old bike racks. And so what we've been doing this last year is taking these old unused bike racks, pulling them out of the places where they're no longer needed, whether they're being torn down or something like that, rehabbing them, taking all the rust off, powder coating them, and then installing them where they can be used again. So Fong's Pizza, we've done, I believe, City Hall. Let's see. We did, of course, RAGBRAI HQ. So now you can go to all these places and actually ride your bike to them and have a place to lock them up. We'll see. I've done this before, and it either takes 2 minutes or 3 hours. So we'll see which one it is tonight. Another of the big things that we do is bike skills education. So something that we've always believed in is helping people learn how to work on their own bikes. And we do that in a couple ways. One is that we'll go out into the community and, we've done classes at Johnston Library, the West Des Moines Public Library, Pleasant Hill, Forest Park Library, and just go out and teach people how to do like basic trail maintenance on their bikes. So if you're in the middle of RAGBRAI and you already saw like the Air Force like way ahead of you, you still know how to change your own tire. The other one we do is bike shop classes, and those are actually coming up soon. We have our 4-week class. The sign up just opened today for that. We only have 7 spots for that. And what we do is we teach people how to work on their own bikes. So in our 4-week class, we do everything. So you learn how to true the wheels, you learn how to service bearings, you learn how to install a headset, do the bottom bracket, and basically just kind of become self-reliant. And yeah, just learn how to maintain the awesome machine that helps you get around and helps you enjoy the awesome trail system around here. And then also new this year, we've got what I like to call YARP. YARP is Youth and Adults Empowered to Ride program. And that is our trail safety program that just started this year. We're going into elementary schools and teaching kids how to safely navigate the trail system, how to get like from their home to the trail system without like running into, without having conflicts with traffic, and basically how to be, good, responsible, self-aware riders. There's lots of stuff about like just being a bicyclist now that's changing both with bikes and with cars. And, we're really happy that we get to work with the Governor's Transportation Safety Bureau on bringing this like program in a mass way to Des Moines. So it's really cool. It's the first kind of its kind here in central Iowa. And yeah, really excited. It's going to be chaos, but a good kind. Okay. Yes, and these are bike rodeos. So basically, what we do is we go and we set up and we make these courses, and we have activities for the kids to do that teach them how to, for example, if you're signaling, you have to be able to ride with one hand. So we have activities where kids learn how to ride one-handed so that they can signal with the other hand. They don't have to come to a full stop before they signal. and how to like start from a stop, how to cross, all this stuff. So it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. It's funny. It's just, you know, like it's a course that's made to look like a streetscape, but the kids love riding on it. And you'll have kids who are like challenging each other to races on these like silly little courses. And it's really funny because then, you know, they'll like if they're trying to get one up on their friend, they'll yell, "Hey, let's stop at the stoplight," and it sounds very much like normal traffic. So, all right. Bloop. We also do a lot of cool events. We have pedal art coming up on May 15th. My favorite is the coolest bike in town, which is coming up on June 14th. And both those events are completely open to the public, and they feature work by local artists. Pedal art is our longtime kind of fundraiser where we sell prints and like original prints from local artists. You come, you hang out at Confluence Brewery, you have a great time, and you see us all this really cool local art. The coolest bike in town is our bike show, and you get to come and see the weird and the wacky, and it's great. It's just a wonderful community thing. We're having it at Captain Roy's this year, and yeah, you just get to come and see just the non-pedaling side of bikes. Like you'll see a lot of the bikes that you see there at RAGBRAI, but a lot of them are made like as kind of like showpieces that people just whipped up in their garage, like feats of welding that you're never going to see like repeated elsewhere. Yeah, Tim Haikalima's like crazy Iowa State bike that won Best in Show. It's a really great time. Yeah. So we have lots of community partners. I'm not going to list them all there, but basically we do we work with organizations that rehome refugees, that support you know, sober living, that help people find housing. And we've been really lucky throughout the years to have all these great community partners like RAGBRAI that help support our work. This year we've had several people go through like sober living programs, and it's really cool to see how bikes can help change the trajectory of their lives. It's not like, you know, nobody's ever going to think that bikes is like the biggest thing to happen to somebody, but it definitely makes getting to like a stable job easier. And it's something that we're really proud of being able to be a part of. That's about it. Yep, there we go. That was it.
Perfect.
I had a
Well,
thank
Bobby,
you slide, but it was eaten.
You did a good job. I've known Bobby for a long time and he's doing some great things in this area. So we truly appreciate the partnership here. We look forward to hitting that goal of $60,000 by the end of this year. So well done, Bobby.
Thank you.
All right,
Also, I
got
must
me-
say we're really glad about the bracelets coming back because we're making leis out of them.
Oh, very nice. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Nicely done. All right, you have me now. So those that I haven't met yet, my name is Matt. I will be your ride director across this journey we'll take in July. Tonight, we're going to cover what is RAGBRAI and cover some 101 things that happen around our ride. We've learned there's a lot of new riders that are coming to Iowa in July, so we want to cover some of those basic vocabulary terms that we need to cover. So next slide, please. All right, so we open our route at 6 a.m. We close it at 6 p.m. Each day, there will be an overnight town that you will leave to move on to the next town. An overnight town for us is a place where everybody sleeps for the most part. They are normally a larger community. I'm a small town Iowa guy, so I will always try to find the smallest town that we can fit in. This year, Guthrie Center is around 1,600 people, so it is the smallest town that we have this year. They have to be able to host us though. So, you know, there is a town that it can be too small. We want to stay away from that. So it needs to have the infrastructure. So when you look at a Guthrie Center, plenty of green space, plenty of parking lots, plenty of all the things that we need in order to be successful. So in that overnight town, we have all different campgrounds. Last week, a week ago now, I think we were all on the road scouting. So we hit every overnight town. We drove around and looked at every green space, every parking lot. And our job in that meeting was to secure where RAGBRAI main campground is. So when you ride our route, you'll know that I route the ride from the RAGBRAI main campground in one town to RAGBRAI main campground in the other town. So you know the exact mileage, the exact elevation, based on campground to campground. So we did that last week. We also took two of our partners with us, Bob Bransel and Pete with Pork Belly, two of our largest charters, to get eyes on the area too. Both are amazing partners that help us get a lay of the land. We call Bob the campground whisperer because he can look at a green space and tell me how many tents can fit in that space because he's been doing it for so long. But we want to be able to tell everybody where they're going to be sleeping in July. You will leave that town and make your way towards the next overnight town. That first town out of the gate is usually classified as a breakfast town. What I look at is about 25 miles. So if that town, or in some cases multiple towns, is in that 25-mile range, I look at you as being a breakfast community. So, if we are leaving Ottawa, we'll head on to that first town. That's where I want you having breakfast. Yes, you can stop and have coffee, you grab something quick and easy in Ottawa, but those towns right out of the gate are waiting to serve you breakfast. So we partner with these towns. A lot of these towns are small and can't feed 20,000 people. So we work with Scott Matter, who is the director of our dream team, and we call him the breakfast whisperer because he has a contact with all the large breakfast vendors. So we help place them in these small towns. So these small towns can hold you guys as long as they can before you move on to the next town. Once you get halfway, we call it the meeting town. A meeting town is the one spot on route where we allow support vehicles to come in and drop off or pick up. On some of the short days, we don't need a meeting town, but on the longer days, they're definitely used. So we create two routes. I create a bicycle route that you guys will ride on, and I create a support route, which your teams will drive on. Those routes are completely separated, but the meeting town is the one spot where they will connect. On a long day, we have riders that get dropped off in the meeting town so they can ride the rest of the day. Or in some cases, we have riders that ride to the meeting town and then get picked up. And then we have riders that ride the entire start to finish. But it is that option for your support drivers to be able to get in. So it all comes back to the day. It all comes back to weather and how you're feeling. But a lot of times the support drivers will drive all the way into the overnight and just be ready and waiting for you. And you'll ride the entire way. But the meeting town, like I said, is the one spot where we allow buses and vehicles to come in and pick up. And it is usually one of our bigger towns that are on route, easy to get to from a bigger road. Like I said earlier, main campground is where RAGBRAI stays. That is where we'll have our baggage trucks each morning. That's where you will get in line, drop your bag off with us. Corey and his team throw the bag on the trailer, and then we'll drive your bag to the next campground down the road. That's where the majority of RAGBRAI stays. We are a camping event. We still have people that like the green grass and like sleeping under the stars. But that RAGBRAI main campground will be there for you. We supply over 80 porta potties at that main campground, so you have a porta potty that's somewhat close. I do recommend not sleeping next to a porta potty. So just keep that in mind. It's great to have it close access, but you're going to hear that door banging 1,000 times throughout the night. But like I said, campgrounds for us are usually at high schools. They're close access to showers, but larger green spaces. I started with our route opening up at 6 a.m., closing at 6 p.m. Our services go live at 6 a.m. So if you choose to get on the road early before that 6 o'clock and something happens, we're not going to come upon you until 6 o'clock. So I'm on the road around that time. Care ambulance is on the road around that time. And then our state patrol working all the intersections are on the road during that time. We tell our towns, 6 o'clock is the time frame, but we do have riders earlier because a lot of these early towns are setting up and you're zipping through and they're just not ready for you. So try to stick to the hours as much as you can. I know that some of you try to beat the heat, try to beat the masses. But one thing I will ask is if you're beating the heat in the masses, you have bike lights on your bikes. You'd be surprised how many times we come across bikes that are on the road and there's no lights on and we can't see them. So if you're riding in the dark early in the morning, make sure you have front and rear lights on your bike. Support drivers help us get across the state. So with your team, you may have someone driving a bus or a van, and they're going to be your support driver. Like I said earlier, we do not allow support vehicles on the actual bike route. We have them keep to the support route. So if you're thinking your support driver could pick you up every 10 to 15 miles and drive you and drop you off, it just can't happen. So you'll need to have a good game plan with your support driver. Have a detailed plan of where you're going to find them. Each town will have a spot that will be able to have a SAG, but your support driver will not be able to pick you up in those towns. The halfway point will be the only spot that will be able to pick you up. Keep in mind too, cell service gets kind of tough. So if something happens during the day and you can't get to your sport driver, know that you'll have our SAG teams on the route helping you. So we bring 4 15-passenger vans and trailers. This year we've partnered with Thule, so we're going to completely rip off the old rack systems on our trailers and put brand new rack systems on there. We're seeing a lot of bigger, heavier bikes getting transported, and we have to make sure we have the rack systems that can support that. So every van that you'll see on the road has a 15-passenger or 15 bike support on the backside of the trailer to get those riders across. We'll see you on the side of the road with your bike upside down. We will pull over, pick you up, throw your bike on there, and transport you to the end town. We are not a shuttle service. We do not drive you to the next town so you can ride just a little bit more down the road. We take you all the way to the end. So if you leave the town and get outside of town and you're done, and we will take you all the way in to the end, drop you up at RAGBRAI main campground. But we'll have those running from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. We have charters that provide a little bit extra service. These charters give you more of the better RAGBRAI experience. So a lot of times there's air conditioning in their units. They have close access to showers. They set your tents up. They do a lot of other things. All that stuff can be found on our ragbrai.com page. And then obviously all the different teams. We were looking at all the different team names, and they've come a long way with creativity. So there are a lot of teams that you can be a part of, or you can bring your own team. We say a team is more than one person. So you can't be a team of one. You're a team of more than one person. Or you can join teams. There's a lot of teams that are now looking for other people to join their team. And then Ride Right. Ride Right is kind of 2 categories. Category 1 is you specifically riding right on the road. So calling out things that you see on the road, being a good ambassador while you're on the road, communicating while you're on the road, like if you're trying to get off the road, saying right or off, turning left, turning right, just so people that are around you know what's going on. And one of the other big things is e-bikes and riding right with e-bikes. That's one of our biggest growth categories, and we're seeing more e-bikes each year. We need e-bike riders to ride right with the normal riders. There's nothing worse than me doing 5 miles an hour up a hill. My heart's about ready to pop out of my chest, and an e-bike goes by me at 25 miles an hour. We need to support each other, and I think that's part of the problem that we have is we're having fun on e-bikes. We're enjoying Iowa. It's a little bit easier, and we just don't know what we're doing around the people that we're blowing by. So if you are that e-bike rider, pull up next to me, cheer me on, encourage me, ride to the top of the hill with me, and then you can pull away. But help do right by me. Right in the other category is for our towns. So we will make sure that the route is safe. We have ride right committees in each town riding the route on a fairly regular basis. They are seeing things on the roads that could be potential issues. They're letting me know what's going on. We're passing those down the line. They're also the ones that do things in their community to promote cycling. So bicycle rodeos, event nights where they bring bikes out, helmets to people that need helmets. But they do a lot of behind the scenes stuff. And at the end, they're the ones that help us pick up signs that are left on the road. So as you're riding on the road, you'll see the arrows that will mark the way. They're the ones that will go out after the event and pull those down for us so we don't have to go back and pick them all up. So they truly help us out. But at the end of the day, we are all going to ride right together. So what bikes are allowed on RAGBRAI? Anything with 2 wheels, I will allow you to bring on RAGBRAI. The one thing I do ask is make sure that bike is tuned up and ready to go for the ride. You'd be surprised how many times I hear that the bike was hanging in my rafters, I pulled it down, I put some air in the tires, and I'm now here today, and they're standing in line because their bike isn't working. So make sure you talk to your local mechanic, get your bike into a shop, get it tuned up, take it to Bobby. Bobby can make sure it's taken care of for you or pass you, get you a new bike. But please don't come to RAGBRAI prepared to ride your bicycle. We do have bike shops in every community you will roll through. So if something does happen, they're there to fix you, but they want a bike that comes ready for RAGBRAI, not one that needs a lot of work. Keep in mind, there's a lot of riders that need issues fixed throughout the day. And if you need a full overhaul on your bike, it just takes too much time. So please bring the bike ready to ride. You're going to see a lot of fancy bikes on RAGBRAI. The one thing I ask, if you're bringing a fancy bike that is cool to look at, but it's hard to ride, please don't bring that bike. Too many times we're sagging bikes in that have alcohol and have just all these trinkets on it that are cool to look at, but they just can't get across the state. So the one challenge that we have for you guys is make sure that you are bringing a bike that you can ride across the state. What to pack? There's a lot of things that you can go into when you think about what to pack. One of the biggest things is it's 50 pounds. I love being there on the first day when people are loading the semis because we weigh every bag and we find out very, very quickly who has done a good job packing their bag and who has too many bottles of liquor in their bag that they have to remove because it's now too heavy. So keep in mind, there's gonna be plenty of things for you to drink throughout the entire week. You don't need to bring a full bar. There'll be plenty of that to find on route, but bring the things that you're going to need while you're on the actual road. Keep in mind that that bag that you pack has to carry your tent, has to carry all your stuff, so that adds up quickly too, please. So just keep in mind that, you know, as you're adding all these extra things, it might be over that 50-pound weight limit. And if it is, it can't go on the semi until it is at 50 pounds. So you may have to pass it down the line or leave it behind. So please, before you leave your house, weigh your bag. As far as what else to pack, we have a great way to get online and look at stuff and get some pointers. But think about what you're going to be wearing every day, what you need for your normal everyday when you're not at home. So things that you can't live without. But know that you will be on a bicycle for 7 days, and there's going to be some things that you just absolutely have to have. And then the baggage trucks, like I said earlier, we have 2 baggage trucks. They are going to be ready to go at 5 a.m. in the morning. There's usually lines for the baggage trucks. The baggage boys do a fantastic job getting your bags loaded as quickly as possible. You will bring your bag to the front or the back of the truck and basically drop it on the bed. The baggage boys will pack it for you. A couple years ago, we had you get in the actual semi with us and load. We've learned that we can be more efficient and load bags faster when our boys just take it and do it. A lot of these boys come from Vinton, Iowa, where I'm from, and we need to put some meat on their bones. So we need them lifting all the bags. We need bigger football players. So we're working on that this year. Then what happens is once that truck is full, the door will close, the truck driver will drive away, Corey will leave some of the team. They will drive to the next overnight town and drop it and start pulling bags out so you're in there ready to go. All the bags are assigned by time you drop it off. So if you dropped your bag at 6 a.m., you go to the 6 a.m. spot, you can find your bag there. Plus we have a baggage team and crew that is there to help you just in case you need help. Like I said earlier, like bags need to be 50 pounds. Obviously we have a lot of bags we load. I think last year we loaded 2,500 bags a day. So that means 500 times or 5,000 times we touched a bag, either loading it or unloading it. So please help the boys and keep those bags at 50 pounds. It is okay to hand stuff off to someone else, but just know that we need to stick to that 50-pound weight limit. I think you're up, big dog.
Thanks, little dog.
That's right.
I'm gonna dive into just a few more specifics as it relates to RAGBRAI logistics, especially for some of the newbie riders, and specifically as it relates to camping and logistics. So, as Matt mentioned, there's a few different campground types. He touched on the main campground a little bit, which is where he routes the bike route from main campground in one overnight town to main campground in the next overnight town. So every distance that's on there is the distance right in between campgrounds. And he really does that because main campground is your central hub for all things RAGBRAI. So we'll get into a little bit about what that entails here in a little bit. Outside the main campground, we have the quiet campground. The quiet campground is really designated for those that are not trying to engage in the party scene all night and stay downtown and enjoy the band and festivities. It's more for the groups that are looking for an early bedtime. They might be in bed by 9:30, 10 o'clock because they know they got to get up early and are going to attack the next day. So we really try to keep that campground away from the hustle and bustle as much as we can. We especially try to keep it away from RVs because RVs are always running generators and nobody wants to listen to a generator all night while they're sleeping. On that note, if you do have an RV, try not to run your generator all night if you're around tent campers because they would appreciate the quietness. Another campground that we've really tried to emphasize here over the last few years is an RV campground. So as Matt's mentioned, the traditional way of riding RAGBRAI is to haul your bag to the baggage truck, get it off the baggage truck, set it up, or ride to the next town, get it off the baggage truck, set it up, camp, pack it up, put it back on the baggage truck, ride to the next town, rinse and repeat. So those people are having a little bit more work than those that have support drivers and RVs. So if you have an RV, just keeping you a little bit more away from the main campground and keeping you in a centralized places with other RVs so that the generators and accommodations and all those kinds of things are centralized for you, but not so close to the campers that are doing it more the traditional way. And then the last one is charters. So Matt touched on charters a little bit, but it's a group that you can pay additional services to be able to ride with the group throughout the week, and they can take care of you anywhere from just transporting your bags all the way up to setting up your tent and making sure that you've got a fresh meal waiting for you in the campground when you get there. So there's all sorts of different options in terms of charters. One thing we do ask and that we're working with our towns, please understand that charter campgrounds are reserved spaces and they do have agreements with RAGBRAI. So we try to place them in advanced placements. We try to place them away from the main campground and the quiet campground and some of those other public campgrounds. But there will be spaces in town when you roll in that you might see a screen space. And if there's a reserve sign or some sort of charter note, no, that is reserved for the charter, and they're working through RAGBRAI and the town to make sure that those spaces are reserved. So if you're a public rider or not with any of those charters, just make sure you're keeping an eye out for that as you're looking at green spaces when you roll into town and figuring out where you want to camp. Looking into the main campground accommodation, so you'll see all sorts of things here. This is kind of RAGBRAI Central. Any questions or anything you need to get answered, you can come to the main campground. So we'll have our info tent there. The info tent is really all things RAGBRAI. So anything you need to know, whether it's finding a charter, figuring out where the showers are, where you can fill your water bottle up, maybe where there's some shade, where there's a charging station, where you can find Wi-Fi, all of those things can be found at the info tent. And we always try to keep the info tent really close to the town info tent as well. So if there's anything that the RAGBRAI staff can't answer, then we can pass you to the town. And they might be able to tell you some of the more local attractions or restaurants or cool boutiques that you should really check out while you're in town. Matt touched on baggage, but the baggage trucks are always going to be close to that info tent. We're always going to try to keep them as close to the main campground as we can. When we were doing our campground scout, Corey and I were telling the towns that the first tent is going to go about as close to the baggage truck as it possibly can. The second tent's going to go the next closest to the baggage truck, and they're going to build out from there. Corey always jokes that if you guys could camp under his baggage truck, you probably would. And I would too, because I'd take some shade, but I don't know if I'd test Corey like that. In the main campground, you'll also find the medical tent. So if you have any injuries on your way in, or you just had a couple bumps and scrapes, or maybe you got treated by care ambulance or somebody along the route, once you're into the overnight town and you just need to get checked in on, the medical tent is a great spot to go, which you can find in the main campground. Typically about a 10 by 10 tent or a trailer that's pretty close to those info tents as well. So if you have any issues, those services are provided both en route and when you get into the overnight town. Showers are obviously pretty popular. After you ride 60, 70, 80 miles in July, you might want to shower. You get a little sticky and sweaty, and those that you're riding with might appreciate if you're showering as well. So there's a few different options in terms of showers. In the main campground, we'll always have Joe's Wet Shack, which is our shower provider. He's got 3 shower trucks, 2 with 15 heads and 1 with 10 heads, so 40 heads total. He will always be looking at or available and in those areas to be able to provide showers. And then obviously we work with our towns to provide any pre-existing showers that they may have, whether it's a high school, the football field, out at the pool, middle school, YMCA, anything like that. We work with those partners as well to make sure that showers are open and available for you guys. One thing to note on showers this year is that we are increasing prices from $8 a shower and $2 a towel to $10 a shower and $2 a towel. AP, I'll touch on that a little bit. That we work with on a regular basis throughout the year based on water prices and inflation and everything else. So just a note that those will be going up to $10 this year with $2 for a towel. For the bike shops, Matt mentioned there's going to be bike shops available for you in every town, both in the overnight town, downtown, and the entertainment area, as well as the main campground. So if you need to get any of those issues tuned up before you get back on route, be sure to stop in the main campground and we'll have a bike repair shop there for you every single night. If you get sagged and you're not able to get all the way in, whether it's a mechanical or you just can't do it anymore for that day, you'll always get dropped off in the main campground. SAG is not a shuttle service that takes you where is most convenient for you. If you get picked up by SAG and you're en route, you're going to get dropped off in the main campground. They're not going to stop at a pass-through town or a meeting town and drop you off where you want to be dropped off. If you get on that SAG, you're going to go straight to the main campground and then you can find your way from there. So just keep in mind that if you are sagging, then you are done riding for the day until you get to the overnight town. And last but not least, our shuttle stops are always close to the main campground as well. I think that was the most popular question we answered last year was where's the shuttle and where's the pool? So it's always easy to keep those shuttle stops really close to the info tent so that it's easy for you guys to find. Once you get in town, you get set up, you don't want to go hunting all over town trying to find where those shuttles are. And typically they're in unique areas just for that day. So sometimes your towns and locals might know as well, not know as well. So we'll always try to keep those in the main campground for you as well. So they're super easy to find. and you can make your way around town without having to ride your bike after you already rode it for such a long day. That kind of wraps up main campground in terms of the services and that we provide and are available. As Matt mentioned, toilets are always provided in the campground as well, so we'll make sure we take care of you there and everything else that you may need. Lastly, I just want to talk about start and finish logistics a little bit, as this is one of our more popular questions. Long-term parking, obviously everybody's been asking since January. Both Dubuque and Ottawa are working on that as we speak, and we hope that they have their parking options available here in the next couple of weeks on their website. So keep an eye on our website, our social media, as well as Ottawa and Dubuque's social medias and websites. They'll be posting that information shortly. But they typically work through a company called Ticket Spice to be able to pre-sell those spaces and then get you tickets and make it a real easy process for you when you get into town. You just want to make sure when you're doing long-term parking that you've got a plan, whether you're going to be in the start town or the end town or vice versa, and how you're going to get back. So just make sure that you're making some of those plans. The cheapest and easiest way is to do your family or friends, if somebody's able to meet you in the end town and drive you to the start town. So that way, when you get done at the end of the ride and your car is waiting for you, nobody has to worry about it. Otherwise, there are a couple other options available that we can explore. One of those is shuttles. So with shuttles, most of these are provided through our charters. And they can come from all over the place depending on where you're at. And you don't always have to be part of the charter and ride with them for a full week just to take their shuttle. So a lot of people will just do a la carte shuttles from the charters and then go do their own thing for the week when they're riding, and then meet back up with the charter shuttle at the end to take them home to wherever they need to go. A lot of charters will leave from the end town. So this year, Dubuque on either Friday the 17th or Saturday the 18th. So if you're looking to leave your car in Dubuque and get a ride to the start town, some of those shuttle options that are available on our website are great options to look into. If you're not going all the way to the end town and say you're coming from Des Moines, or you're flying into Kansas City, or you're driving up from St. Louis, there are some options there as well. We have charters in 8 different states that are coming from all over the place based on where they're local and where it makes most sense for their groups. So even if you're not going to the end town and you're flying in or you're meeting in Des Moines or anything like that, be sure to take a look at our logistics page online as well as our charter page on some of those options that are available for you. Last but not least, we have Mr. Car Shipper, which was a new partner this year that we're happy to announce is coming back this year. So they are able to take up to 200 cars, and you can park your car in Ottawa at the start town on that Saturday, leave your keys, or I don't even think you have to leave your keys with them. They'll be able to move your vehicle, get it towed, put it on a semi-trailer, and drive it over to Dubuque, have it parked and waiting for you in a long-term parking lot with that location shared with you of where your car is, waiting for you on Saturday. So they're a good service that are able to make you not have to worry about those logistics. If you're worried about how you're going to get in, you don't have any friends or family that are willing to drop you off and pick you up, you're not interested in working with a shuttle, and you really need to make sure that you've got your car there at the end, Mr. Car Shipper can be a great option to look into. And again, those details are available on our website. And with that, I think that covers camping and start and finish logistics. So I'm going to pass it to AP for some newbie rider tips.
All right. Well, welcome to any of the newbie riders who are on this call. You're in for a treat when you get to July. I'm so excited for you. You're going to have the time of your life. But part of that is training. My number one tip for newbie riders is to make sure that you train properly, because you know, one thing that people find when they come to RAGBRAI is that we do actually have hills. We do actually have heat. There is actually humidity. So if there's one of those things in your community that you don't have, I encourage you to try to seek it out. Like, see if you can do a bike ride next to your humidifier. See if you can ride up and down that highway overpass a bunch of times so you get your hill training in. Do what you got to do, because the more practice you get ahead of time, the better. That also applies. I want to just kind of throw it back to the camping section. A lot of people train on their bikes, but they don't necessarily train for camping. So just make sure you know how to set up and take down your equipment. You have a ground cloth for your tent, and your tent has been waterproofed. Make sure that you test all that stuff before you come on RAGBRAI. And my favorite tip for camping is be sure that if you wear contact lenses, practice putting them in and out without a mirror, because you're going to be in your little tent, and if you drop one on the floor of your tent, you're going to be one sad puppy. So just be sure that you practice that before RAGBRAI. As far as actually practicing for RAGBRAI on the bike, my number one tip for you is to, if you've never ridden in a big group before, you're going to be riding in a large group on RAGBRAI. There's going to be pretty much people around you at all times. So just be sure that you practice riding in a straight line. I know that sounds silly, but it's not necessarily intuitive, especially if there's stuff all around you to look at. So just kind of keep that in mind as you do your next training ride and practice doing that. Along with that, sort of safety wise, practice calling out when you're passing people, when you see a crack on the ground, when you see something that you might, want other riders to know about, like a rumble strip or I don't know, something like that. Really and truly, people do call out hazards and their intentions as they ride on RAGBRAI. It's not embarrassing to yell on your left or biker off or bike on. So just kind of get in the groove of doing that. Those are some of my really basic newbie rider tips. Obviously, you want to get your bike tuned up. You want to make sure that you have all your water bottles. Probably my other tip for newbie riders as far as what to carry on your bike, be sure you always bring a snack. I always get hangry and somebody would have to bail me out with a snack. So now I bring my own snack. Usually that's like in the form of a scotcheroo that I buy on the side of the road. And then if you don't eat it that day on the ride, you got a treat at the campground either for that night or the next morning. As I'm going through all these tips, I want to encourage you to throw your question in the Q&A or in the chat. We'll be answering those at the end of this call. So no question too basic. Cost of water, food, and power. That's a great question. I have not ridden RAGBRAI for many years, but I would say bring cash, bring extra cash. A lot of times we'll hit a small town ATM and RAGBRAI will use all the cash in that ATM. Or on Sunday, banks aren't open. And so a lot of times the vendors will run out of ones. So make sure that you bring some small bills, bring some cash. People have been starting to take online payments like Venmo, but like Matt said, sometimes your cell service is not perfect and you want to make sure that you're able to obtain your food and water as needed on the ride without worrying. For power, we do have a vendor who will be selling charging for your phone or other devices, your e-bike battery. It's called Backroads Battery. I don't want to do too big of a plug for them because I'm not #sponsored, but they do have a booth in our overnight town and in the meeting town every day. There'll probably be other people who are doing charge your phone for a fee, like as a fundraiser. So keep an eye out for that. You'll want to get creative as to how to charge your phone. You know, it's really funny how many outlets really are everywhere once you start to look. My favorite play is to go to a church and have dinner at the overnight town and then find an outlet at the church and charge my phone while I'm eating. Hayden just made a great point in the chat that every town will have free water, so keep an eye out for that. So you will always have access to water in a town. You just have to be able to find it. They are usually pretty conscious about making it really, really obvious for where the water is. As far as cost of food, it really depends on if you drink alcohol or not, how much you're going to be spending on drinks every day, and food every day. I would suggest bringing, I don't know, $35 to $45 at a minimum for food and water, just so that you're sure that you're covered. As Hayden referenced, the shower prices are going to increase, and this is pricing for the shower trailers like Joe's Wet Shack. The towns will offer showers as well. Their prices may vary, but we are recommending that they be in this similar price range. So plan on having $10 per day for showering and $2 for a towel. You are allowed to bring your own towel, but I will say your bag will get really funky really fast if you use that same towel every day. It's just so humid at night in Iowa that it takes a day or two for things to dry out. So just kind of plan accordingly. A shower is also a really great time to rinse out your kit after a day of riding, so things don't get quite so funky in your bag. But again, remember, you're probably not going to want to wear that kit the next day because it may not dry overnight. So I would plan on wearing it every other day or maybe even every couple days. And then training, I kind of touched on training already. I would recommend if you have the Zwift platform, myself, Kathy Murphy from the Just Go Bike podcast, and of course our ride director, Matt Phippen, all are on the Zwift platform and we do weekly rides. hosted rides. So join us on there. It's pretty fun. We have been slowly increasing the difficulty and distance of the ride, so it's kind of mirroring the training plan. So that's a really cool option if you like the virtual trainers. I'd also recommend on ragbrai.com/training, we have a training blog by both Coach David Ertl and our very own Aaron Oliphant, who is about to do a newbie blog this Friday. So we're super pumped for that. They give really, really great advice. They're both experts in the training field. They can give way better, more scientific advice than I can. So I would highly recommend checking that out. There's also a training plan. So if you're worried about, have I got enough miles, you can reference that. My training plan is ride as much as you can whenever you can, because you won't regret it. So I think that's pretty much everything from my tips for riders slide. But please, again, ask questions in the Q&A if you have more questions.
All right, well, thank you, AP. That was great tips. And like she said, don't forget to check out that Newbie blog we're posting this week. It'll have a lot of great information. We have a few more minutes left in our meeting, so we'll be answering some questions in the Q&A. So please feel free to ask anything you want, but we did get some registration questions too. A lot of it was covered in our meeting tonight. A lot of it was to do with long-term parking and all kinds of stuff, but one we keep getting is shuttles. So if Hayden wanted to touch base about maybe the closest shuttle to the start town and the end town, and would towns be in charge of that, or would that be something to find separate from the towns?
Yeah, of course. So as I kind of mentioned earlier, you can find a lot of that information on our RAGBRAI.com website. If you go to the logistics page or the charters page, you'll be able to see some of those services that are offered. It really depends on what you're looking for. The most popular option is to ride from end town to start town. So that way, when you get to the end town, your car's right there and you can pack up and get on your way. There are also smaller options. There are options that will bring groups from Des Moines. There are options that will bring groups from Cedar Valley. There are options that will bring groups from St. Louis. So you really just got to kind of go onto the website and see what works for you and where your location is. And as I mentioned, if you are flying in as well, there are groups that offer shuttles that come from airports. I know one of the groups that does that is Pork Belly Ventures, so that may be worth checking out. And again, they do offer a la carte services, so you can look at just doing the shuttle. You don't have to be a member of that charter for the entire week.
Thank you, Hayden. Another question we keep getting is, this is for Matt. We have kind of two-parter. Is there a gravel leg for any of the routes this year? And what hills are we doing in Dubuque?
Well, we're doing hills all the way across the state. So Dubuque's not any special. We have hills every day for you. Gravel though, we are looking at gravel sections every single day. As you know, if you've ridden regular before, gravel changes from one side of the state to the other. We have more gravel than any other spot in the nation, and I want to show it off to you. So I've already started to map some stuff out. Unfortunately, it looks like we're going to snow this week or this weekend, so I'll keep me off the roads next week. But as soon as it dries out and I can actually get on the gravel, I will drive and get some gravel. The way I kind of build gravel is it's usually a right-hand turn off the route. You ride golf for a little bit and the gravel comes back to the route again. So you never miss any of the towns and you have the ability to hop back on a paved road. Gravel is not supported by our team, so we do not have any SAG services on gravel. We will send one of our motorcycles down and back that does med services. So if you do go down, we're there to help you out, but just know that if you're riding gravel, you are on your own. And I'll also be trying to find some level B roads, which is a dirt road that farmers use. So as long as it stays dry, we'll hit those roads. We had a pretty awesome one last year and it rained the day before and it was a muddy mess, so we had to close it. But yes, to answer the whole question, there will be gravel options every single day.
Perfect, thank you. Another question we have, and this was for AP, is, which is that? Great. What should they do? What is it? We purchased a car pass. What does that mean for us? And what does that mean for my wife? She was taking me.
Yeah, support vehicle pass is something that you need if you plan on parking your car in the main campgrounds in any of the overnight towns. They'll be looking for your support vehicle pass when you enter the campground. So that'll be your way to get into the good camping spot that's relatively close. If you're in a, Nope, take that back. Okay, so it's a great way to drive income into the towns. It also allows you to stop in the meeting town and meet up with your rider. So it's just a way to make sure that your vehicle is official and that you're able to access all the main campgrounds with your vehicle and meet up with your rider.
To add on to that a little bit, we have recommended each town does a support vehicle check-in over the last couple of years so that as they come in off the support vehicle route that Matt builds, there's town volunteers there stationed to see whether you've got an RV or you've got just a sedan or you've got a big camper or a bus or whatever it may be. So those overnight or those vehicle passes are sold by size. And then those volunteers will be able to point you to your designated parking spot that's really easy and accommodating for you, rather than you trying to take a big RV through some of the small towns and turning down a wrong road that's closed because you're gonna hit the bike route, and then you're in a big pickle. So it is very helpful for the towns and yourself, if you have those vehicle passes. And if you don't have a vehicle pass, those parking spots will not be available to you, and you'll have to park somewhere on the outside of town. And we highly discourage doing that. It's just easier on us for logistics. It's easier on you when you get into town. It'll let the town know how many cars are coming and are able to plan for. So it is very important that you purchase one of those passes.
I will also say too, I've seen a lot of chatter on social media that you do not have to buy a vehicle pass, and that is just not true. That money that you pay us goes back into the communities, and as we're working with these communities, we're showing them what has been registered so we can help put a good plan in place. Not every town has just endless supply of parking lot space for all your vehicles. So it helps us determine where stuff needs to go. So please, if you are bringing a vehicle or multiple vehicles, please make sure you pay for your vehicle pass.
I will also add on to that and say that, make sure that your driver is registered. Not only does that help us tell the towns how many bodies and people are coming into their community, but that also helps because we have all of their information in case of an emergency, So we ask all of those questions when you register, and we want all of those non-riders to be registered. We are really transparent with the towns on exactly how many people are coming into their community each day and leaving their community. So registering early just helps them prepare.
Yeah, thank you, team, for answering that one. I think we have time for one more question, and it's for Jess. Jess,
Oh, she's nervous.
she's nervous. Jess, what's your favorite food on RAGBRAI?
Sassy lemonades.
Okay.
Oh, and Thelma's ice cream sandwiches.
There you go.
I survive on those all day.
That was an easy answer.
Yes.
But, we want to thank everyone for coming tonight and joining us. Our next town hall is April 9th, and we will discuss the full route after we announce it on April 3rd. So be sure to look out for that town hall registration. We'll have it up in a couple days so you guys can register. And again, we want to say thank you so much for joining. And if you have any questions, you can email any of us at any time. We're happy to help, and we love answering all questions. So thank you, everybody. And AP will post this shortly. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Well, you survived, Jess. Good job.